I love Pokemon. It was a major influence on me as a young guy growing up in the 90s, and for over 20 years now, it has become one of the biggest properties on the planet. However, although there have been some amazing offshoots, the mainline series hasn't evolved much, pun intended. That is what we shall be discussing today. Greetings, Legionnaires! This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time now, because I think if you gave the Pokemon series just a couple of rare candies, you could make them turn into something truly remarkable. A little backstory about the games I played in the mainline series. I played Blue way back in the day, Silver, Emerald, and a bit of Heart Gold, and that's not counting things like Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium. I usually tend to stick more towards the first two generations of Pokemon, but for the wishlist I'm crafting today, most all Pokemon and regions should be easily swapped in and out for it. So whatever generation you like best, whatever Pokemon you like best, don't worry, that applies here too. But without further ado, let's get into the wishlist and talk about all the things I would love to see in a true sequel to Pokemon. First and foremost, I think we need look no further than an evolution of one of Nintendo's beloved classics in Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. For me, when it comes to sequels, usually subsequent entries fall into either iterations or evolutions. Assassin's Creed games are usually iterative, being rather similar from one to the next, while a game such as Breath of the Wild is an evolution, harnessing the core aspects of its forebearers, but drastically changing how you approach the title. For multiple decades now, Pokemon has sat firmly in the iterative camp, with offshoots such as Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium acting as different avenues into the universe. While it makes sense from a business standpoint for Nintendo and Game Freak to keep this tried and true model, I think that they have the chance to not only retain their current global presence with their flagship titles, but also bring back those of us who have longed for so much more. For me, Pokemon has three core aspects: exploring, battling, and the Pokemon themselves. Each bleeds into one another, and I'll be going over what I'd love to see featured in an upcoming Switch exclusive. It's no secret that when it comes to discussing what a dream-type Pokemon game would consist of, that Breath of the Wild comes to the forefront of many conversations, and it makes sense. Both games are about exploring vast landscapes with different biomes and city environments. However, unlike the intrepid Link, our young Pokemon trainer cannot, most likely, scale cliffs and what have you. So in lieu of that fact, I think it would be really cool if you were able to use your own Pokemon to traverse the environment. This isn't a new concept to Pokemon by any means, but I think we could ratchet it up quite a bit. Even as a kid, the concept of cut to take down trees versus using something like slash was frustrating. However, I think using your own Pokemon to cross large gaps, scale cliffs, and navigate difficult terrain would make the adventure all the more exciting. For example, imagine how cool it would be to climb a mountain while holding onto the back of your Machamp or ride on your Rapidash over a volcanic field. This would encourage the player to get a strong Pokemon of each type to thoroughly explore every inch of the region. These hard-to-reach places would need proper incentives to seek out, such as incredibly rare items or cosmetics for you and/or your Pokemon. I realize that asking that each properly sized Pokemon has a specific traversal ability is quite a lot, but this is a wishlist after all. I just don't want to see anyone using a Pidgey to soar to the top of a mountain, okay? Okay. These wild areas also need to be full of indigenous pocket monsters that interact not only with nature, but with one another. Pokemon Snap did an incredible job of showing these lovable creatures in their natural habitats, and it is a must here. Photo mode and long-term side quests would also be available for the Poke photographer enthusiasts out there. Battling has always been a major draw of the franchise, and I think now is the time to shake things up in the biggest way yet. In the games, Pokemon have always sat facing one another, arms spread wide, and embraced each attack head-on. While this style worked well for the Game Boy Color age, I think we need to once again look to the anime for inspiration. Skirmishes were incredible events that showed off the strengths, personalities, and abilities of these mentally arresting critters. They rarely just stood there and took a hit, but rather dodged, used terrain, and other crazy tactics to gain an edge on their opponent. I would really love to see a third-person style fighting system implemented here, where you control your own Pokemon. Seen in fan-made titles like you're witnessing on screen now, you can really get a sense of how much deeper battling can be. Spatial awareness, attack range, and even the environments themselves are all considerations. Limiting your moves to the classic 4 and the number of times you can use them could still work here. But I would also be up for a more robust moveset with unlimited uses, if it is properly tuned. This would be a major change for the franchise, and I could see longtime fans rally against such an implementation. But after all these years, it really is time for a change, in my opinion. This would also mean that there would be a few less battles in the game because these one-on-ones could last quite a bit longer. Honestly, for me, I would be fine with a bigger emphasis on the quality of battles themselves, the animations of the Pokemon, and this new system over the nearly endless onslaught of random trainers that give you no choice but to battle them. Pokemon typing would still be a huge factor, but dodging, fighting at that Pokemon's optimal range, and reading your opponent would allow this very old system to be intricate in a way it never has been before. Also, I would love to see really crazy arenas for the gym leaders and Elite Four that shift and favor their own fighting companions. Lastly, I want to talk about the Pokemon themselves. Here's where I lose anyone still watching, but instead of gotta catch 'em all, I want to see a limited number of Pokemon slots available to the player. Now hold on a second, let me explain. I'm not saying it can be only 6 or something like that, but by limiting the amount of Pokemon you can have in the game reinforces the bonds you form with them, and forces you to strategize about the ones you want to catch. Typing, regions, and your own personal favorites are all factors that would come into play. It would also make the act of catching that Pokemon, or Pokemon in that line, very special. As a fledgling Pokemon adventurer, you would have to study regional maps, talk to citizens, and find the best types of bait to lure out your quarry. Catching, refining, and utilizing your dream team should be a somewhat arduous task, but it would make it all the more rewarding. I really would love to see the ability to bring out your team at campsites or Pokemon centers found throughout the world. In this way, you'd be able to interact with them and allow them to form bonds not only with you, but with each other also. Cooking meals before battles could give your Pokemon slight buffs and provide the most adorable cutscenes you've ever seen, outside of Monster Hunter World, of course. Training against your own Pokemon is such a cool concept that I would like to see that too. We could even implement co-op battles where you could take over one of your Pokemon and fight alongside an AI-controlled member of your roster. As I am the leader of the Legion, I want to start implementing ideas from my devout Legionnaires, while also giving them credit. These suggestions come in from Lodiaz. Firstly, he would love to see the ability to choose a career path in the Pokemon world. Perhaps you'd rather play as a breeder, scientist, or other Poke-centric profession. Breeders, for example, could provide other players with food or tools to help benefit their clients' Pokemon. If battling is your thing, he suggests interacting or building up your own team of other Pokemon trainers to increase your reputation in the world. Making your own team would be somewhat akin to guilds found in MMOs to fight alongside your friends in weekly or monthly tournaments. Constructing your own team to hunt down legendaries or get special armor for your Pokemon would be a dream come true also. Overall, I think that Pokemon is due for a huge overhaul. The games that have splintered off from the main series are, to me, some of the most memorable. With the less than stellar reception of Sword and Shield and the stunning success of Breath of the Wild, I think it's the perfect time to evolve this series that is so near and dear to our hearts. And there you go, Legionnaires! There's the wish list. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to send a special thank you to Lodiaz for writing in, and if any of you guys want to do this in the future, what I'll do is I'll maybe post it in Discord and Twitter and things like that. See if people want to kind of throw in their 2 cents as well, because as much fun as I have making these videos and getting inspired by what could be, you guys inspire me even more. So I wanted to give credit where credit is due. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this, wishlist videos where I talk about video games or movies that haven't come out yet, and sometimes they do get announced afterwards, but we have a whole playlist here, as you can probably find here on YouTube, so please subscribe if you like these type of videos. I also do a weekly podcast where we talk about all things pop culture. We do a lot of stuff. We got Instagram, where you can see a bunch of cool photos, behind the scenes things. We have a Spreadshirt where you can get some cool shirts. The new Vibe Vampire shirt is out, so you should go check that out. It's really cool, just in time for Halloween. And then, we also have a Patreon. If you want to support us over there monetarily, that's a great way to do so. That really supports the channel. You can subscribe to us on Twitch. I'm streaming over there a couple times a week, so I'm kind of doing a bunch of stuff. But honestly, the best thing you can do is just let me know what you thought of this video. If you like it, you dislike it, let me know. Comment down below or just share with friends. That kind of stuff helps out the channel so much. And it means so much that you are even watching this in the first place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've decided to kind of do more wish lists in the future because not only I think are they the most fun for me to make, but also I think they're just way more optimistic as opposed to just doing reviews all the time. But I still do reviews, as often as I can. Those take a lot of time though, so the wish lists take a lot of time. Speaking of the last wish list I made for the MCU's version of Superman, Hyperion, that took forever. but I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, so the best thing you can do, just share us around, and I would really appreciate that. And thank you so much to all of our Legionnaires over on Patreon. If you're up $5 and up, not only do you get the podcast a day early, but you also get your name over here, which is pretty great. So thank you for all those people who are the conscripts and the mercenaries that we have in the Legion. So if you want to go check us out, I would really appreciate it. But you just hanging out here today, that means a heck of a lot to me too. So until next time, just remember to adapt and overcome. Bye-bye.